Elon rallies the troops for the end of quarter push. The COVID drama at Fremont may not be over. New legislation has been proposed again to promote EVs, and the Tesla Semi has been putting in work. This is Tesla Tidbits episode number 606 for July 1st, 2020. This show is sponsored by my supporter Richard. If you're in the market for a new Tesla, please consider using his referral code. Ask your salesperson to use code Richard174 or go direct to the web link ts.la/Richard174 and pick up a 1,000-mile supercharging credit for your new vehicle. Item number 1 today is what I can only describe as a shot at a miracle. As you all know, the Fremont factory was shut down for essentially half the quarter, unable to produce vehicles. Reuters reports that they've obtained an email from Elon that indicates that despite this, Tesla has a shot to actually break even for the quarter. From the email, he said, quote, "Breaking even is looking super tight. Really makes a difference for every car you build and deliver. Please go all out to ensure victory," end quote. The ability to execute this is a very big deal on multiple levels. First, it goes without saying that it would show Tesla's amazing ability to adapt to the business after being impacted by an unprecedented event in U.S. history. There are a lot of companies that won't survive this at all, let alone be able to break even while selling a luxury item. Second, I know I don't talk about the stock on this show a lot for good reason, but this is super important. If they're able to at least break even, Tesla will have posted 4 consecutive quarters with no losses, the first time in its modern era that it's been able to do so. Doing so not only shows the great progress of the company, but will get it included in the S&P 500 stock trading index. This ostensibly would cause a huge influx of investing cash, and any question on the viability of the company going forward should be effectively quashed, if it hasn't already been. For those out there that might not be on social media, the Tesla naysayers have been either very, very quiet lately, or their blacklist has ensured that I see none of their drivel. This might be the final straw in pushing them onto some other company to attack and distort the truth about in pursuit of their profits. Item 2 today is a bit of a worrying one. According to a press release, Alameda County has put its reopening efforts on hold due to new worsening COVID-19 trends. Apart from the obvious threat to health in the area, this could again affect the Fremont factory for Tesla. Alameda County has 5 metrics in tracking its COVID effort to gauge the situation in the county. 1. Rate of new cases and hospitalizations. 2. Hospital capacity and surge capacity. 3. Testing capacity. 4. Disease containment capacity. And 5. PPE supply for healthcare workers. The release states that metrics 2 through 5 are doing fine, but they are seeing, quote, unfavorable trends for new cases and hospitalizations, end quote. For now, it appears that this could only potentially affect the most recent categories of business permitted to reopen on June 19th. This included all retail stores, outdoor dining at restaurants, outdoor museums and fitness classes, and limited indoor religious services. No decision has been made yet, but per the press release, quote, this week and next will be critical for assessing the impact of activities authorized to resume in Alameda County on June 19th, and we will continue to closely monitor our data to inform next steps regarding reopening and attestation, end quote. While this does not yet directly affect Tesla, if the situation continues to deteriorate, it very well may. I'll continue to closely monitor this situation and get you the latest as it occurs. Switching to more positive news, item 3 today came courtesy of an email sent to me by Plug-in America. The House of Representatives here in the U.S. will be voting on the Moving Forward Act, or more technically, H.R. 2. H.R. 2 includes a pile of benefits for the promotion and adoption of EVs. These include, but are not limited to, the following: increasing the cap on the current EV tax credit to allow for 600,000 credits per auto manufacturer rather than 200,000, establishing a used EV tax credit of $2,500 or 30% of the sale price to promote lower income adoption, establishing a new rebate program for apartments, workplaces, or other commercial locations that install publicly available EV charging stations that are available at least 12 hours per day, require that the U.S. Postal Service purchase of new vehicles be at least 75% EVs, and that each publicly available post office have one charging station open by 2026. Additionally, the fleet of medium and heavy-duty trucks must also be at least 30% electric by 2030. The same for federal vehicles. By 2025, at least 50% of vehicles purchased for federal use must be EVs, and the other 50% must also be an alternatively fueled vehicle if it is not an EV. Funding for state energy transportation plans that must include plans to deploy a network of EV charging stations and reduce fossil fuels and improve air quality by the electrification of transportation. And finally, requiring states to consider allowing for measures to encourage deployment of EV charging stations by utilities themselves by letting them recover investments in EV charging stations. You can see the full bill, as well as the email I received, by following the links in the show description. I highly encourage you, if you're in the U.S., to write your House representative and encourage their yes vote for H.R. 2. However, we have seen these types of bills before, so I don't have a lot of hope for this, so I guess it is critical that you get your voice heard by your representative. Last up today is the Tesla Semi putting in some work. Tasmanian has the story, though I have seen this in multiple reports, that both Tesla Semi prototypes have been out and about transporting Teslas to owners. Whether this speaks more to getting the Semi out more into the public to stoke interest after renewing efforts to bring it to production, the fact that they just need every available transport to deliver every possible car as fast as possible to try and make that break-even Q2 happen, or to potentially test new updates made to the prototypes is anybody's guess. Regardless, always great to see that glimpse of the long-haul trucking future out and about. That will do it for today's show. Thanks to all my patrons supporting the show at patreon.com/Tesla Tidbits. And as always, a special shout out to all the super patrons supporting the show at the $10 plus level. They are Ryan Scarborough, Lee Sweet, William Henry Crew III, Dorian Steve Guberman, Ralph and Cheryl Waterhouse, Todd Sullivan, Mitch Long, Zortec LED Canada, Morvan Og, Raymond and Deborah Malkowitz, T Sportline, Vicky Kirk, Ricky Johnston, Nathan Garza, Ed Patterman, Sunil Joseph, Joy Rodriguez, and Brad Lettner. If you have feedback for me, the best way to be heard is to tweet at Tesla Tidbits and use the hashtag AskTeslaTidbits if you'd like your question to be considered for the show. Until next time, keep it charged and hit the road.